let me say to the witnesses, thank you for your testimony. Thank you for staying. And sorry you have to listen to the white supremacy raise its ugly head, throughout this hearing, but we're here to fight it. And so I just want to make sure you know that.
Perhaps Ms. Bush could come give us some pointers on how she's reduced crime in St. Louis since she's been in Congress, and what her ideas are to further reduce crime in St. Louis. But wait a minute, St. Louis has one of the highest crime rates in America. So maybe she can come tell us how to secure the border.
So, Chris, a lot to unpack there. I'm wondering what your reaction was when you saw that, because generally speaking, that doesn't happen among members on the same committee. Maybe a sign of things to come. I think a lot is sort of bubbling over there in that exchange.
Well, first of all, Cori Bush is actually my congresswoman, and she is an embarrassment to everyone that she represents here. She purposely only represents probably about 10 or 15% of the district, but the sentiment that she espouses, none of us really, nobody in the district believes in that or not anti-Semitic. We have a lot of Jewish people that are in the 1st Congressional District. She has refused to meet with them. They've asked for meetings with her. And I think it's also very interesting, Rob, that the revelation came out that this is the woman that wants to defund the police, defend the Pentagon. We have Boeing here in St. Louis, but it's come out that she has spent now $500,000 of taxpayer money on her own private security. So it just shows her hypocrisy, and what she's really about is she wants to be another AOC, and she's all about trying to get in front of cameras and microphones.
AOC's movie, by the way, did very well, I heard, over the weekend. Did you guys hear about that?
But hold on one second. Hold on. He's one sentence short of announcing his bid to take on Cori Bush for that congressional seat. Chris Arps, I thought that's what we were announcing tonight. Is that today? Is that what we're doing?
You know what? Unfortunately, I think that ship has sailed. She has won re-election, and I think she cemented. She won pretty handily over my wife's candidate, Andrew Jones, who was running against her. He ran pretty handily, and she lost pretty handily. And I think she is cemented and will have that seat as long as she wants it, unfortunately.
I think the only thing Brianna and I know this morning is that Hogan definitely knows what the announcent is.
And he's
going to play dodgeball with us for the next 2 hours on Wake Up America, not telling us what the... I texted Rick Grinnell yesterday just to try to see if I could get any information. Nothing. Crickets.
You got to text Hogan.
I texted Hogan. He texted me.
So that was your first mistake, Rob.
Picture of a six-pack.
Rob, do we get a Newsmax mug if one of us gets it correct?
You know,
what's the prize?
More than one person has asked me that, if that's going to be the big gift from me this year. You'll have to wait and see. We've got 10 days to go until Christmas. And today, if you listen to that song, 12 Days of Christmas, 10 Lords a-Leaping. That's today. Everyone knows 5 golden rings, right? That's the big one. 5
sure.
Okay, Brianna, here's a soundbite. MSNBC, and I've started to notice this, CNN in particular, MSNBC as well, they're starting to pick up on what we've been talking about for the last 2 years. Take a look.
Now, we just heard some of the horror stories that people face just when they get to Mexico and trying to get to the U.S. They're being kidnapped, starved, raped, extorted. That's just in Mexico. I'm just wondering, Amna, where is the urgency here? Where is the outrage that men, women, and children are going through hell? And it seems as though, unless there's some political aspect to this, there's no outrage. There's no focus.
Brianna, what was your reaction to that? To me, it almost seems like, hey, they're going to have to start to get behind this because this might be an issue for Joe Biden in 2024.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, you don't say moments, right? And obviously, Democrats are now going to come out on social media, on platforms like MSNBC and CNN, because the midterms are over. They don't have to worry about chilling for their Democratic counterparts anymore. And Democrats have not been paying attention, but Republicans have been saying for the better part of about 10 years that this is not just a immigration crisis where people don't want people flooding the border illegally. It's also a humanitarian crisis, right? We see children who are being taken across the border illegally, right? They're used by these coyotes to get through the United States. We're seeing drug smuggling that is killing Americans day in and day out. And Democrats have turned a blind eye, but it comes down to the bottom line, and that Republicans do have that winning issue on their side. They had it this election cycle. They'll have it in 2024. And if Democrats don't jump on the bandwagon now, if our border czar doesn't get her behind to the border, I think it bodes very poorly for them in 2024.
But where you just said, but where's the outrage? We've all been outraged about this for 5 years. MSNBC refused to cover it. So welcome to the party, as Brianna just said. Aha moment right there. The outrage is when you cover it and explain to the American people what's going on down there and what these people have to suffer through to try and get to our border. There's the outrage. All you have to do is report the news, but MSNBC has been covering that up because of course, it suits their political agenda, and they're just lapdogs and echo chambers for the Biden administration and their ridiculous policies. So, yeah, we've all been outraged about this for a long time.
Good points. Hogan Gidley, Chris Arps, Brianna Lyman. We'll do this again top of the hour. Looking forward to it.